Well, you guys, if this is not impressive, then I don't know what it is. Look at the detail in this engraving. This is engraving on a piece of metal. And as you can see, it did a fantastic result, way above average when it comes to diode lasers. So it engraves wood. You see that 3D effect? I hope you can see that. I was so pleased with the engraving of this machine. Hey you guys, I'm so excited. Today we are going to open and test the new laser from Xtool. This is the Xtool F1 ULTRA. This is the world's first 20-watt fiber laser. It's a dual laser, so it has a fiber laser and a diode laser. The fiber laser is 20 watts and the diode laser is 20 watt as well. And this is a Gulf style laser. That means there is no moving gantry. It's just based on mirrors. And that makes it ultra fast, like wicked fast. And we will test all of that. And because it's a dual laser, that means we get both of these lasers in one, and we do not have to change laser heads or anything. It's all in there. You just pick which one you want to use on the software. And because we have both laser in one machine, that means we can now engrave and cut on wood, plastic, metal, and leather, and so much more, acrylic. And we'll test all of that today. We'll do a first impression, and then I'll have a mini series of all kinds of little projects we'll be doing with this laser. So I'm going to unbox this, put it together, and then we'll test it. If you do decide to purchase this machine, please use the link in the description below. That is an affiliate link. That means to no extra cost to you. I will get a small commission when you purchase through my link. If you want to skip the unboxing, then you can skip to this time code over here where we'll do the testing. So let's get this unboxed and see what it's capable of. To unbox this box, I'll be using this knife that was custom made for me by one of my subscribers. And I think it's appropriate to use this to open this box because he used the Xtool S1 to engrave on the wood and the metal. And I'm gonna open this up and put it together. Very well packaged. This is, well, part of the accessories for it. And just like the S1, I love it. They put the straps on it, so it makes it easy to pull out of the box. So let's do that now. Not too heavy. Xtool has always been so good at packaging their products. I've never had a product from them come damaged, which I cannot say about other lasers. I had lasers that came and they were, you know, falling screws out of it when I got it out of the packaging. So this is really nice. Ta-da! All right. Has these little tabs that keeps the door closed during shipping. I'm going to remove this, guys. All right. Let's figure out how to hook it up. They're manual, very well explained, nice clear pictures. I always like that about Xtool. Now before I take this and plug it in into my dust collector and all of that, I just want to show you the difference between the original F1 and the F1 ULTRA. This one is super tiny compared to this one, yet this one is still very compact. Let's see what it measures. Just in case you're wondering about space, how much space you need in the shop. So this one, it's about 9.5, less than 10 inches by the depth. It's about 13 inches and the height 19.5. So that's how much counter space it takes. And then the work area, as you can see, a lot larger on the Ultra versus the tiny square that we get on the F1. So this one, it looks like is 4 times the size. We'll test that as we test the machine. But just as a comparison, there you go, just size comparison for now. All right, well, the machine is all hooked up and connected to my computer. It's really easy to do. There was nothing really to put together. The machine came fully assembled. The only thing I had to do is to plug in the air hose to extract the fumes, and that I have it connected now to my Xtool inline fan, which I think it's a must if you have a laser. That's a 6-inch inline fan, and that's how all my fumes are going to go out the garage door. I will be using this digital monitor and also the little button that they sent me. And they sent me a pedal switch too, but I'm not going to use that because I have it here on the desk. So using the button or the digital thing seems super, super easy. And the first test I want to do, now keep in mind, I've never used this machine. I just unboxed it. I didn't have time to go through and find out the best settings and stuff. This is just me trying it for the first time. The first test I want to do is what height can you engrave in this? Like how big of a piece can you put in this machine to engrave? Because this is one of the questions I got before with the original F1 for wood turners that have bowls and things that they want to put in there, and they need the height. So that will be our first test. So part of my test is take this box from Xtool, see if I can fit it in the machine and if I can engrave at this height. This is a really big height for a laser. So this thing, it fits in here. I'll be engraving on one of this aluminum coated blue cards, so I am going to place that in there. And let me bring you in closer. All right, so now I have this digital touch screen thing. And what I will do, I have a design on my computer. This is what my computer screen looks like right now. And this machine has a camera. It has a 16 megapixel camera. So if I click on my design, as you can see, that's shows the bed of the machine. And if I click on my design and go to processing and click refresh, it should show our box in there with that business card as it is. So now I can take my little fox that I am going to engrave and I am going to place it where I want to engrave it onto my design over here. And I'm going to use the infrared laser and I'm going to use power 50, speed 1000. I'm going to do it really, really fast. Mostly I want to see if the machine will focus this high. I'm going to move you around back to face the machine. Let's see if you can see there. And on this little thing, I have arrows up and down, and this is how we focus the machine, also as autofocus. But for now, let's see. I need to connect those two dots, make them overlap each other. And, oops, it's a little bit hard to see in camera. There you go. Now it is focused, so we should be able to engrave at this height. We'll measure the height afterwards and we'll see how tall it was, the box. All right, so we are framed. I am going to send this file to my machine. And then with this little button, when I am ready, I will just press it and the machine should engrave and it should be wicked fast, you guys. I'm not going to fast forward. This is in real time. So let's do this. Real time again, I'm not fast forwarding. Real time engraving. There you go, it is done. And this is our little cute fox. Now let's see what height this box had. Now to measure the height of my box, just so you know what is the depth you can engrave on, this is almost, that's over 5.5 inches. It's 5 5/8. So that's how tall you can engrave. Now for the second test is I want to engrave an image on this business card. Since we're working with metal and infrared laser, I want to see how good of a photo engraving it does. So I will place this in the machine and I want to bring in a photo of my daughter. I am showing you my screen right now. I need to bring in an image and let's see. I'll bring an image of my daughter. And of course it's going to be way too big, but let's see. If I go to processing and I go refresh, it's going to show us the canvas with the business card there. Let me straighten it up a little bit because it's very crooked. Let's go and refresh our view, and I'm going to crop my image because obviously it's too big. First of all, I'm going to make it smaller. So let's see. How small do I need to get it? Maybe something like that. And as you can see, my image, it's not the same proportions as the business card, so I will need to make it bigger, but then it's going to engrave outside of my business card. So I will tell you how I will fix that in a second. So right now I can zoom in. By the way, with this camera we can zoom in, so let's make it bigger so you can see. And you see my photo, it is larger than my business card. So what I will do to fix that, I can either draw a rectangle around it and crop it, or I can put my business card on a piece of wood because I will be using the infrared laser, and infrared laser is not going to mark the wood. So by placing this on a piece of wood, now I can have the image larger and it's only going to mark on the business card. So that's what I'm going to do because that is a little bit, easier for me. So let's refresh this and now place my image somewhere. Somewhere like that. I think that is going to be good. That is going to be just fine. And it's a colored image, but it's going to engrave in black and white, of course, because it cannot engrave color. Unless you're doing stainless steel, then you can do color engraving with the infrared. And if we go here to the settings, we are going to engrave it. And we are going to use dot duration. Let's see, we're going to use the infrared laser. And that duration, I'm going to set it at 350. Power, I'm going to do it in Jarvis mode. For the power, I will use low power, just 23. I think it's going to be perfect. 500 dpi and 1 pass. That is going to be my setting. So now I'll go to process. I'll close the window over here on the machine. I am going to move out of the way so you can see the engraving happening. Now I also inverted the image because we're working on a black card, so you want to invert the image when you do this kind of work. And I'm going to click process and then push this little button. And there it goes. Well, you guys, if this is not impressive, then I don't know what it is. Look at the detail in this engraving. This is engraving on a piece of metal. That is so cool, and it did not take long at all. Look at the details in it. Really, really nice. Very happy with this. Now, let's get to do some more testing. 20-watt power laser, you know, everybody's wondering if it can cut metal. So I don't have any metal laying around that I could try to cut with this laser, but I do have this aluminum cards, so I want to see if I can cut a shape with this laser on this aluminum cards. So let's go try that. Now I have no idea what settings I need for this, and I will just kind of make it up and we see if it works. I'm going to get rid of this picture in here and we'll just try to cut maybe a star. All right, I am going to close this and I'm going to process. We have a small star that we are going to cut, hopefully. All right, let's see what we get, if we cut it or not. And it's not completely disattached, but we did cut a little star. Look at that. So yes, it can cut metal. It did not mark the wood because infrared laser is not going to mark wood, but there you go, our little star. This would be cute as inlays. Very sharp though, be careful playing with this stuff. For my next testing, I want to engrave on a stainless steel plate, so that's what I'll be doing. I'll be engraving a butterfly. So I'm going to set up my material. I will give you my settings. All right, I have no idea what setting to choose for this one. I'll just go with power 100, speed. I'm gonna go with 500. That might not be the correct speed, but I do not know. We'll try it, and if it's not dark enough, we will try it again. And let's see what we get. Engraving is done and it's looking beautiful. Let me give it a little wipe with water. So this is what it looks like with those settings. I think I'm going to keep the setting and just do 2 passes, see if we get a better result. So I'm going to place my material back in there. All right, I should give you a better look of the laser. And let's push the button. Real time, not fast forwarding here. This machine truly is so time efficient. It is so fast, and that's what makes it so perfect for businesses, for when you need to batch those jobs one after another. Time is money, and it's important that your machine works fast and it doesn't waste any time. It's already looking great after 1 pass. I'm curious what 2 passes is going to do on this stainless steel. As you can see, the butterfly looks nice and dark. There goes the second pass now. The first pass was finished. I hope you can hear me over the noise outside, but there's lots of work doing outside. I am building a bigger shop, so that's exciting, yay. And, you know, they're just doing their work. Second pass, it is almost done. This is not fast forwarding, this is real time. And let's see what we get. The job is done. This is what we get straight from the machine. This is actually, we went too deep. Oh, you know what, you guys? You know what I did? I didn't peel out the plastic thing, so the plastic melt. Let's try this again. Mistake, taking a new business card, and this time I am peeling the plastic backing. I'm going to leave this in the video so you don't make the same mistake like me. There you go, the new card. And let's try this, okay, again. And there you go, we are all done. And this is what it looks straight from the machine. I'm going to give it a little bit of wipe with water. Just sprayed it with water. I can tell that it went deep. My paper towel is catching into the groove. And there is our engraving. Isn't that pretty? It's so dark. Really a really nice engraving. All right, you guys, next I'm going to engrave on one of these leather patches. I know a lot of businesses are making good money with their leather patches. You can customize it for hats, you can customize it for, you know, jackets, backpacks, whatever that might be. So I'm going to engrave on this leather patch, see what it looks like. First I have to bring in my design. And for settings, I'll be using the diode laser, so the blue light, power 30, so very low power, speed 600. So that's what I will work with. And I'm not sure if those are the correct settings or not, but that's what I'll be using. So let's try that. Again, I'm not fast forwarding. This is all real time. I'm turning on my air extractor there. And just like that, we are done. Let a little bit of that smoke to go away. I don't want to open it too soon. And let's see what we got. This is our leather engraving. I say that is really, really nice. Very nice. As my next project, I want to engrave on this black leatherette that was sent to me by Xtool. And I've done this once before, and they're really cool because when they engrave on it, it actually shows us silver. So let's try it to see what that one would look like. All right, let's try on this little leatherette here. And this one maybe will work. I have settings, power 42, speed 600. Let's see how this one goes. This is the diode laser again. Super. I apologize, but my phone died, so I had to plug in my phone into the charger to be able to record. That means I had no port to plug in my microphone, so you get the voiceover for a few clips here, and then we'll get back. Once my phone is fully charged, we'll get back to talking. But this is the engraving for this leatherette. Now here is some engraving on Baltic birch plywood, and as you can see, my settings was probably way too high power. It was really burned through half of the plywood, but in the end it kind of gave it this really 3D effect. It was kind of neat, but not the right settings. We will do another wood engraving later in this video so you can see the proper settings, but this one was really not the right thing. It still looked really cool. It was my first time engraving with wood with this machine, so it was just a kind of a guess settings. And here it is, the machine. It's almost done engraving, and let's see what it looks like. As you can see, it really chewed up through the plywood. It gives you a 3D effect, but not the proper setting. Still really cool. Very impressed with the power of this machine. It's super versatile, super fast, and I was happy with the result. Now here is me engraving on a metal coin, and this one, it took a little bit longer. I had to have the settings pretty high, and then in the end it turns out that was maybe a little bit too high because I definitely put a big dent into the coin. You can really feel the engraving. Still super pretty, and it was really black. So let's see what it looks like after this engraving is done. Here here it is. Like I said, way overdid it on the settings, but it is really, really black. It is a big groove in there. You can stick your fingernail in it and feel the groove. I do not know what kind of metal this is. It just came with my Xtool F1 ULTRA, but very happy with the result. I think it worked out really well. Now here is a leather coaster engraving, and this one went really quick. I used the diode laser for this. I don't believe this is speed up. This is just the real time, but went really fast, and I was very pleased with the engraving. So let's give it a minute. And yes, my phone is charging while I'm recording here, so then soon we'll get back to our normal voice so we don't have to do a voiceover. Leather makes a lot of smoke, and the smoke smells horrible, so I am so glad I have this laser hooked up to my inline fan. It really helps and gets out all the nasty smoke out of my shop. I don't have to breathe in those smokes. If you have a laser, I totally recommend getting that. Our engraving, it's almost done. Let's see what it looks like in a second here. Now here is a stone coaster engraving, and I believe this might be the last video where I have a voiceover. I'm not sure yet, we'll see as we edit this video. But again, super fast. This is in real time, and I'm going to stop the real time right now and fast forward it so you can see the final result, because this video is getting very long. Okay, well, I can now confirm this is the last segment with voiceover. This is an engraving over wood. This is solid wood. This is curly maple wood. And I wanted to do this engraving of these tulip flowers because I've done this engraving with all the other lasers I've ever tested. So I know exactly what it should look like. I know what a good laser will do to this image, and I know what it should not look like. So let's see on the end of this engraving with the diode laser of the Xtool F1 ULTRA. Let's see what it looks like. So let's see the reveal. Ta-da! I think the engraving is perfect. Oh man, I wish this camera would focus. There you go. The engraving is definitely above average. I could have went a little bit deeper with the engraving, but still really nice. It gave it a really good 3D effect, and I am very happy with the way this laser performed with wood engraving. And I think this is important because... Alright, so after a few hours of trying it, what is my first impression on it? And let's review a little bit of some of the things that we've made today. We started with our little aluminum cards, and this is our first engraving. Of course, it did fantastic, wicked fast. Then I did the photo of my daughter engraving, and that just blew me away. For me, that is just a fantastic result. So it engraves on aluminum cards. We also did engraving on stainless steel, nice and clear engraving. Very nice, and I expect that as a fiber laser you should be able to engrave on all metals. I also engraved on this coin you saw me engraving, and that's a really cool one. It's still in the plastic case right now. We engraved a leather. I did this leather patch. This one was also really cool, and then this leather coaster. Coasters are a huge income for laser workers. So those work great. Speaking of coasters, engraved a slate coaster, very nice and clear engraving. Fantastic results. And then when it came to wood, my first try to engrave on wood was on this piece of plywood, and I went way too deep. I mean, you can tell I went like halfway through the plywood. And it gave it a cool kind of 3D effect. If I get closer, you can see even in the center of the flowers. It's a pretty cool 3D effect, but obviously the settings were way too much, more than it needed to be. So then I dialed in the settings a little bit and I tried an engraving on a piece of curly maple, and I've done this tulip because I've done this one with many lasers and I know what it should look like. And as you can see, it did a fantastic result, way above average when it comes to diode lasers. So it engraves wood. You see that 3D effect? I hope you can see that. I was so pleased with the engraving of this machine. I mean, that is just fantastic. Look at the 3D effect. That is just done with the Xtool F1 ULTRA. Now when it comes to wood engraving, my first one of this one of a chicken, and this is just some plywood, and the settings were completely off. I went all the way, almost through the plywood, like definitely more than halfway through. But look at that 3D effect he gave it. Look at the inside of the flowers. Not the correct settings, but still a really cool effect. Now then I played around with the settings and changed it, and I did on this piece of curly maple solid wood, and I did this picture of the tulips because, well, I've done this picture many times with many lasers and I know exactly what it should look like, and I can tell you I am wowed away. Look at that. Look at the 3D effect, and this is all done with the Xtool F1 ULTRA. Amazing engraving when it comes to wood, and amazing engraving when it comes to metal, plastic, you name it, nothing can stop you. You can engrave on anything you please. I mean, this is just so good. And because of that 20-watt fiber laser, we were able to engrave into this coin. This is a deep engrave. I mean, I can really feel the groove in there. We are way into the metal, and it's so nice and contrasty. I think it did a fantastic job. I think this machine, it's very easy to use. It's great for any beginner that wants to learn how to work with the laser. But I think the people that will benefit from this, it's definitely the small businesses. This thing, it's meant to be a power horse, to do all the jobs really quick. It has a huge working surface here. I'm gonna bring you a little bit closer. This is one of the biggest surfaces when it comes to fiber laser. Also, it has a dust port over here on the back, so it sucks in out all the air and the fumes. Now the work area on this laser is huge. It's about a little bit bigger than 8.6 inches, and you can see you would easily be able to fit 4 coasters at a time if you so choose to for batch working. Now, they of course also have the conveyor belt, which I do not have, and that just speeds up the process even more. It's also compatible with their rotary tool, but even without the rotary tool, this machine can engrave on curved surfaces, just like the S1 can. So really nice. It also comes with this little thing that you can screw in into your bed anywhere, and that just helps. Let me just see if I can quickly do it with one hand here. That just helps with to make repeat jobs. So you can place your coaster, for example, in that corner and make sure everything gets framed and focused. And then when you're done, you can take away your coaster, put the next one right there, and you know it's already framed and it works perfectly. Makes repeated jobs really easy. The camera is fantastic. It is so accurate. I can't even explain to you. I've worked with a few other lasers that have cameras, and usually they have problems. They come, you have to calibrate them because they're not accurate. And this one, I didn't have to do anything. It just works, and it's very accurate. And the next few days, I'll do other videos, and I'll show you how accurate it is. We'll engrave some tiny jewelries and so on. This is the comb that sits on the grate that sits on the bottom when you want to cut material, because you do not want to damage the bottom of your machine. So it comes with it. The machine is smooth, it's fully enclosed, it's safe. When it's closed, when the door is closed, it's safe to the eye, so you do not have to wear glasses. However, I do have my glasses here, and sometimes I wear it even when the door is closed. But definitely, if you're doing a job where, like for example, when I did this one and the wood was sticking out of the door, so the door couldn't fully enclose, definitely wear glasses. I'll put a link to my favorite glasses on the description below if you want to purchase some. But all in all, I think it's a fantastic machine. I cannot wait to play more with it. I think if this is something you want to use for your business, even though it seems expensive in the beginning, it's really not that expensive. It's two machines in one. If you look at the price for a good diode laser, and then if you look at the price for a good fiber laser, you will see that you're actually saving money by having one machine that does it all. The size is not too big. You can still pick it up easily and move it around. If you need to take it with you to a craft show, you could. It's not that big. It doesn't take that much space. It doesn't take that much counter space, or whatever you need to place it. Definitely a lot less space than my S1. And it's a very capable machine because of the two lasers combined. Now you can work with pretty much all materials that you could imagine, and I cannot wait to explore more the possibilities of this machine. I just think it's going to be a money maker. People are going to love it, people are going to buy it, people are going to use it, and I think the YouTube, you will be flooded with videos on the F1 Ultra, just because it is so versatile. And the speed is something that excites me the most about it. I have many lasers, and I have the old F1 and I have the S1. None of them are as fast as this one, and we all know time is money, so speed is very important. Now, would I recommend this machine? Absolutely. It's a fantastic machine. I think it's the most versatile laser right now on the market. It's probably the fastest laser out there. And I think you will see a lot of videos coming up on YouTube. Everyone is going to buy this machine, make tons of videos on it, because it is just that good. Now, that's all the time I have for today. This is my first day playing with the machine. I'm going to learn more about it. I'm going to make some projects, and I'll be making more videos in the next few days with all kinds of things that I'm figuring it out, and settings and so on. I hope this was helpful to you and you learned something new. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Skylar Ewing, and I'll see you in my next video.